You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Look at the stars. The great kings of the past look down on us from those stars. So whenever you feel alone, just remember that those kings will always be there to guide you.
I don't think it is very useful to speculate on what God might or might not be able to do. Rather, we should examine what he actually does with the universe we live in.
We are all explorers, driven to know what's over the horizon. The most profound discoveries are not necessarily beyond that next star. They're within us, woven into the threads that bind us.
Hello, beautiful people. Happy Monday. Happy Moon Day. And welcome to a new week. Starting off with our birthdays. You know what today is? It's Mean Girls Day. It's October 3rd. I should have brought up the meme. But you all know, the part of the movie when she says, do you know what day it is? And he says, it's October 3rd. You know what I'm talking about? Or he asks what day it is. Anyway, I'm butchering it. You get the idea. Not only is it Mean Girls Day, but Tommy Lee is celebrating a birthday today. Interesting that he is a Libra. Gwen Stefani is a Libra. Tessa Thompson. Let's see. A$AP Rocky. Okay. Sean William Scott. Lots of notable Libras. Ashley Simpson. Wow. And if it's your birthday, if someone you know is celebrating a birthday, let us know so we can celebrate them too. Have to give a shout out to Nick, who was here like 2 hours ago waiting. I had to postpone the live stream today because had something else come up, couldn't get here in time. So better late than never, right? But just giving a shout out to Nick, who was patiently waiting, listening to, I don't know how to say that, Ted Auletta, Exotica. Final. He always has the best music recommendation. So today we're talking about the Capricorn moon. The sun is in Libra, the moon is in Capricorn, and we're coming away from the first quarter moon. Both the sun and moon are in cardinal signs. Cardinal signs are those authoritative signs in our chart who kind of set the precedent for the energy around them. So the moon and sun are squaring each other, which can bring up a sense of restlessness, but the Capricorn moon is taking us on a whole roller coaster of emotions today. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. And Nick is back. Watch some Whose Line Is It Anyway to pass the time. No, nothing was wrong with you. I had to postpone. I had something else really early this morning. I've been up since like 5 a.m., you guys, but didn't want to miss our live together. So here is a look at the current chart. Let me pull it up for you. You can see the sun is in Libra. Where is she? 10 degrees Libra. Can't believe we're already a third of the way into Libra season. Whoa. And the moon is in Capricorn at 20 degrees. So the moon's already made some connections. We'll quickly walk through what's already happened, and then we will get to the most potent connection the moon makes today, which is actually going to be late tonight. And if you're looking at the chart, you probably guessed what's coming. The moon is forming a conjunction to Pluto. So that's what we're making our way towards today. But as you're settling in here, if you're joining me live on Instagram or on YouTube, if you're on YouTube, you get to see my cute little dog in the background. Let me know how the energy is feeling for you. I always like to take the temperature of the room, get an idea of how we're all feeling and how I can best serve you with the forecast that I am providing. So you're always welcome to follow along at thespiritualjournalist.com, especially because we have quite a few moon transits to walk through today. But just a brief refresher on what it means when the moon is in Capricorn. Capricorn is the most serious practical sign of the zodiac, and the moon is actually in detriment in Capricorn. It's in its weakest position in Capricorn. So we might find ourselves kind of disconnected from our intuition with the moon in Capricorn. We process our emotions in a much more logical and practical manner. It has to make sense for us to fully acknowledge that we're feeling it with the moon in Capricorn. And with this being the first quarter moon in Capricorn, we're really starting to take action, which we do during the first quarter moon, towards our long-term goals. Capricorn rules the long term. It rules time, the passage of time. So we have our eyes on the distant prize, and the small steps we're taking, those tiny steps up the mountain, are all culminating and pushing us towards our long-term goals. So right now we're feeling like taking practical steps, moving forward in a way that, again, makes sense. Overnight, the moon squared Chiron. This was at 1 a.m. Pacific time, 3 a.m. Eastern time. Maybe if you live in Europe or another part of the world, this was first thing when you woke up, the moon squaring Chiron, which can make us a little triggered. You might have felt this late last night, or it could have even come up in your dreams, bringing up some triggers or some trauma in your dreams last night. Maybe even still feeling the lingering effects of this if you woke up super early this morning. So just know if you were feeling triggered, remember Chiron is the wounded healer, and sometimes, especially when we have a tense square like this, a 90-degree angle between the moon and Chiron, those triggers can come up unexpectedly or in a little bit more of a hostile way. I'll just put it that way. Hopefully that didn't happen for you, but just know if it did, the moon was squaring Chiron, kind of forcing us to acknowledge our wounds. How's everyone feeling? Okay, Nick says a little stagnant, just have to chill and go with the flow. Flow is going to be something we're talking a lot about today, so that's beautiful. Diane says it feels chaotic. My fiance's birthday is Wednesday. Oh, exciting. And your wedding planning, and everything is crazy. Well, the nice thing about the first quarter moon in Capricorn is that it is very much a planning energy. Like, let's just take these practical steps and keep moving forward at a slow and steady pace. So hopefully you can tap into that energy, find some structure amid the chaos. Hi, Nikki. Happy to see you here. Rose says, felt like being so productive last night, but feeling so sluggish this morning. You're probably feeling that first quarter moon energy. Yesterday, there were a lot of squares yesterday, kind of pushing us to be productive and do and all this stuff. And today is more, like I said, about the flow. So, Katie says it feels like a lot. My husband and I have stellium in Capricorn. Yeah, so the moon is bringing emotion into all of your Capricorn placements, which can definitely be a lot. Hopefully you're hanging in there. Let's talk about the flow aspect of today, because yes, the moon squared Chiron overnight. That was a minor aspect. Hopefully we didn't have to deal with the effects of that. 8 a.m. Pacific time this morning. Actually, I'm going to talk about two transits that were playing out at the same time, 8 and 9 a.m. Pacific time. So 11 and 12 Eastern time. And I'm not going to try to do the math for the rest of the world. We're still working on that. If anybody knows techie people who can help me get like an adaptive clock up here somehow, or on the website at least, you know, you can log in and say what time zone you're logging in from. That's the long-term goal. That's the big picture Capricorn plan. If anybody knows a first step I can take in that direction, you know where to find me. Come holler at me. Okay, so here's the transit many of us woke up feeling. Okay, so we have the moon, 18 degrees. This was, again, 8, 9 a.m., but we're still kind of feeling this energy. The moon harmonizing with Uranus here. Okay, so moon trine Uranus can open us up to excitement on a Monday morning. We might even be craving a thrill. We're open to a change of pace. Really nice energy to start a Monday on, but you'll notice the dark red line in the middle at the same time, the moon opposing Lilith. Okay, so remember, Lilith represents our shadows, the parts of ourselves that have been repressed, that need to rise up, and maybe even in a hostile way. And with the Capricorn moon opposing Lilith in Cancer, we are prone to outbursts or, aggression in some way, shape, or form, especially with the moon trine Uranus at the same time. could be some mood swings. If there are any emotions that we have been repressing, today is a day they could come up unexpectedly or just in a really dramatic way. It could even be that your body is expressing things that you've been ignoring, right? Because Lilith in Cancer is very much about the body and the body's autonomy and the body's power. And so with the moon in Capricorn, it could be showing us, ooh, this is where we've been kind of ignoring our body. And Lilith's role in all of this could kind of make a power play, if you will. You just need a bunch of clocks on the wall, like at an old airport. Yeah, replace the neon sign with clocks, and I can just reference what time it is in the different time zones, right? That would be really, see, that's what I want to get like on the background somehow, or as like a widget or something. But I need a techie person in my life to make it happen. So the energy we woke up under, yes, we could have been like craving a thrill, craving some excitement. But if there's anything we've been ignoring or repressing, that could come out as an outburst of some sort. So hopefully you were tapped into the energy more of being like, ooh, let's do it differently today with the moon harmonizing with Uranus. Let's try something new. But if there's anything you've been ignoring, like I said, today is a day where it's going to come up. Diane says, this past weekend brought up a lot of buried issues that kind of came to a boiling point. Wedding planning is definitely revealing some issues that I've been suppressing with some people in my life. Wedding planning will do that, Diane. I've never planned a wedding, but I've had many friends who have, and I am lucky enough to see their experiences before planning my own wedding. And yeah, it's an interesting rite of passage that we go through, right? Because I think especially in today's society and modern culture, maybe in traditional times too, a lot of times family members feel like they have a little more input than maybe they should. Or, people love to tell their opinions about your relationship, about what you should do, what's right, what's wrong. So hopefully you can find some peace amid all the noise and kind of come back to your own North Star, your own inner compass. But you're talking a lot about this Lilith energy, right? And remember, Uranus has been sextile Lilith for weeks now. This is a transit that we've just been subtly feeling in the background, but you can see them connected on the chart here. And so there is this sense of, with Uranus and Lilith, in this long-term supportive angle with each other, there's a change brewing that's forcing us to reclaim our power in some way. Lilith is all about reclaiming our power. So the changes and shifts happening right now, as I'm saying this, like so much is locking into place in my own brain about what's been going on in my life. But the shifts and changes that we're experiencing externally are showing us what we might have been suppressing internally, with Lilith and Cancer really focusing on the internal, what's inside that hard outer shell that we've been kind of hiding or ignoring. Use these external circumstances, as annoying as they may be, I just am sensing that, to reclaim your power. What shifts and changes are happening that are showing you where you have not been standing up for yourself or not been claiming your full power? Rose says, wedding planning does bring up a need for lots of boundaries. Ooh, love that. Love that. And what's really interesting too with Uranus in Taurus, I feel like boundaries have come up a lot in that sense too, a change in boundaries. Taurus is very much about the physical, about our values. Maybe there's a change in values coming up that shows you what kind of boundaries you need to set. I tried hard not to make any new friends during wedding planning, right? Don't want to write even that, the guest list. Where are you going to cut people off? And that can force you to kind of reclaim your power too. Yeah, perfect. Teaching me where I need to set boundaries. Nick says, should stay away from the people who push your buttons and cause outbursts. Just avoid it, let it go. Sage advice. I know that's not always possible though, right? Sometimes those people who push our buttons are tied to us by blood. And we can't avoid them without causing more drama. I feel for you, Diane, and just know that we're all here supporting you. And if you are finding yourself like not upholding your boundaries or not claiming your full power, know that you have like this group of people behind you who are like, no, we know your power, Diane. Like, do what you want to do what makes you happy. And we're all like in the background supporting you. We're your invisible moral support, okay? Yeah. I can tell what's going on over there. Okay, all right. I think I can. I'm not going to assume I'm all knowing. Alexandra says, feeling good today, feeling just a lot of just do it now energy and have power action behind my intentions. Yes, first quarter moon vibes. Maybe I can thank our Capricorn moon and Mercury going direct. Yes, Alexandra. And the first quarter moon in Capricorn, we're going to get to kind of a better part of the forecast, a little juicier part of the forecast in just a moment. But today really feels like this arc of reclaiming our power. And the first quarter moon in Capricorn is like, yeah, just do it now. Like, just do it. Be practical about it. This is the duty. This is the responsibility that you need to do. Just do it. That's very much the energy of the Capricorn moon. Yes, we love you, Diane. So we talked about a little bit of maybe a tumultuous energy first thing this morning, or maybe you just reaped the benefits of the trine between the moon and Uranus and you were like, ooh, Monday morning excitement. I hope that was you. Let's move on to what is to come today. So 4 p.m., the moon forms a sextile to Neptune. Okay, so let me show you what that looks like on the chart. We'll jump ahead a little bit here. And you can see the moon, once it hits 23 degrees, will be in a 60-degree connection with Neptune. A sextile is a supportive angle, and the sextile to Neptune just helps us lean into compassion, lean into empathy. I really see Neptune's influence today, softening the harsh rigidity of the Capricorn moon, maybe helping us find a little bit of flow amid that just do it energy that Alexandra brought up. Maybe it's being a little creative or letting your mind wander a little bit, letting yourself daydream just a little bit, even though we have this very productive, logical, responsible energy that we're working with. So Neptune this afternoon, 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time is like, okay, let's just flow a little bit. Let's be a little bit more compassionate. We don't have to be so harsh on other people. And, maybe that's already something that Neptune has helped you do today. And it might not even be about other people. Maybe it's just about you not being so hard on yourself today, right? We love a Neptune sextile. Might also make you a little tired, like help you slow down. But in general, the pace should feel slow and steady under the first quarter moon in Capricorn. We are making our way towards this weekend's full moon in Aries. So I think the energy and the momentum are going to kind of pick up. That inner fire will slowly be ignited. But right now it's just kind of this like slow, steady, this is what we got to do. Check things off the to-do list. Neptune this afternoon just kind of helps us find a little flow, a little imagination, a little creativity amidst that to-do list energy. Rose, especially when it comes to blood, don't give them the satisfaction of having the power to frustrate you. Yes, during wedding planning, it's your day as a couple. Everyone else has the honor to witness it. Yes. And you know what? I love that we're having this conversation about wedding planning under a Capricorn moon, because remember, Capricorn rules our like ancestry, our lineage, older generations, and it also rules tradition. So it's really interesting that we have this dynamic that we keep talking about today of reclaiming our power as we make our way towards the moon meeting up with Pluto, of this like kind of death and rebirth of our power. But there's also this desire to honor tradition and to respect our elders. So it does feel a little bit like this kind of balancing act between honoring tradition, doing what we're supposed to do, and then softening a little bit, flowing a little bit, and honoring our own power and our own selves and our own desires. So, just know that it's not always cut and dry. You're never going to make everybody happy. And I think there is a middle ground we can all find between honoring tradition and making our own way in the world. Yes, it'll be a good boost for the weekend. That will be helpful. Yeah, all that fire. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens under the Aries full moon. No, I think it'll be good. Okay. Let's talk about what happens at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Another trine, this time between the moon and Mercury, which is now direct. Thank goodness. Can you feel that direct Mercury energy? I feel like my mind is slowly starting to like remember how to function. Yeah. Let's see. Mercury is at 24 degrees, still where Mercury's stationed. So we're still in that kind of pausing phase of Mercury, slowing down, switching directions. It's been at 24 degrees forever, but over the next couple days, it should start moving back up through Virgo back into Libra. When the moon harmonizes with Mercury, 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time, we could have insights come through really easily. Remember, a trine, this 120-degree angle, is all about flow. It's all about ease. Things unfold naturally when planets connect in this way. It's very balanced. So this is a great time now that Mercury is direct to kind of solidify some ideas, or maybe things are clicking into place that you did have to review and kind of go back over. Maybe the confusion that you felt a little bit as Mercury station direct is starting to, the fog is starting to clear. I will say Mercury and Neptune are still within a degree of an opposition, so I don't see things being like crystal clear just yet. But with the moon and Mercury in Earth signs harmonizing, it really just feels like grounding ideas into reality really easily. We can see clearly, we can see practically, and the two most practical signs of the zodiac, the moon and Mercury, are connecting. And anything we've been unclear about or confused about or kind of pondering can start to come into focus. I see this as just kind of like the beginning of the focusing. It's not like everything is just all of a sudden going to make sense, but it might be a few things start to make sense. A few pieces of the puzzle start to come together as the moon and Mercury harmonize. Great way to look at it. I found the push-pull with that honoring tradition versus which to toss out, being a more non-traditional person by nature. Personally, I'm a big fan of a non-traditional wedding. I'm a big fan of people doing it differently. It's the age of Aquarius, my friends. Like, let's all just march to the beat of our own drums with our weddings, right? But then I'm also a sucker for tradition. Like, I'm a sucker for the bouquet toss and for, just like the stuff that as a girl, I'm just like, oh, the white dress and the veil and all that, so yeah, things have felt cloudy. So things will start to get clearer. Mercury's direct. Today is kind of the beginning of that process. And then the transit that we have been alluding to, that we have been making our way towards, this happens at, I want to say 9 p.m. Let me double check. I'm just updating the chart here so you can see the moon and Pluto together. This is 9 p.m. Pacific time, so midnight Eastern time. So it might be overnight for you. It might be that you start to feel this as you're winding down tonight, or if you're a night owl, you might be wide awake when the moon and Pluto are connecting. The last connection the Capricorn moon makes. When the moon and Pluto are together, anytime we have a conjunction in astrology, it's like these two planets are blended. Their energies are blended. So the moon being our emotions and Pluto being our shadows and our ability to transform. When the moon and Pluto are together, it can bring up intense emotions. Anything that's been hiding in the shadows or in our own depths can come up. Really interesting under a Capricorn moon, though, because we're not super in tune with our emotions. It might be a little surprising. Again, it's kind of this vibe of, what have you been suppressing? That might come up and surprise you today, right? But I really see this as being the culminating point of helping us tap into our power. Pluto represents our ability to transform, and that's a very powerful ability. Pluto is the planet of death and rebirth. So this could be showing us shadows or intensities that need to die in order for us to be reborn, in order for us to keep walking the path forward with fresh energy and fresh eyes. Shadows are illuminated, but by seeing what we've been hiding from, we can transform. We can't transform without knowing what we're transforming, right? So the moon forming a conjunction to Pluto could bring up those intense emotions, but see it as an opportunity to reclaim your power in those moments and be like, okay, how can I do it differently this time? How can I, reinvent myself this time? And it doesn't mean you have to become a whole different person, but every time that we're faced with a trigger or an emotion that we've experienced before, and we make the choice to handle it differently, to do something different with that emotion, we are reborn again and again and again. I mean, as humans, we're constantly regenerating and being reborn. Literally every 7 years, every cell in our body is different than it was 7 years before. So we're constantly in this evolution. And when the moon forms a conjunction to Pluto, it's really helping us reclaim our own power over our evolution by witnessing the shadows, by witnessing the darkness and being like, okay, I see you. What am I going to do with you? How am I going to be in control now? Pluto loves to be in control. Now, the shadow of this with the moon conjunct Pluto is if we feel out of control, it can be really tempting to try to control and manipulate others. So instead of doing that, bring it back within. Go deep within. This is a moment to let any actions under the first quarter moon, any patterns, behaviors, tendencies, control tactics, die. And remember, the only person you can control is yourself. So how can you be more in control of your own evolution? And that's likely just a minor shift. It's likely just like, okay, what do I do when this intensity comes up, right? It's easier said than done. And it's a constant evolution. I don't know if there's any human who ever is like, okay, I made it. I figured it all out. That's the universe, God, spirit, whatever you want to call it. You level up, the divine is going to give you a more difficult assignment, right? So just know the moon forming a conjunction to Pluto, yes, can be intense, but it's definitely helping us propel forward in our evolution, especially under this first quarter moon. So sweet, Nick. Congratulating Diane. Do we know your wedding date, Diane? Like, can we look at the astrology of what's going to be happening? How can we support you? Just, you don't have to answer right now, but just let that sit. Love to support you in your wedding planning process, astrologically, if possible. She says, and this is such a time of year to be thinking about what needs to be let go. Yes, beautiful reminder. It's fall. Literally, the leaves are changing. We're seeing physical transformation all around us. And as without, so within, right? Like as we're seeing the world transform, we're also taking more a note of what's transforming within. In order to go through a new chapter of rebirth as we enter toward winter months. If you look toward old times, farmers used to thin their herds to survive harsh winters. Interesting. If we apply the same thought, we sacrifice or let go of things no longer serving so we can develop and grow in new ways to be reborn for the new year. Yes. I love when we can look at tradition, ancestry, especially under the Capricorn moon, the cycles that our ancestors used in order to, in this modern era, figure out how to just like function as humans, right? It's really cool when we see like, yeah, for hundreds of years, this has been a time of year when we're thinning things out, when we're plowing the fields, letting them go fallow for the winter. It's kind of a time to do that internally too. October 29th? It's so soon. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited for you. Okay. You better believe I'm going to go look at the astrology chart in the next couple days and we're going to do a little like what's going on for Diane's wedding. I love weddings. Yeah. Okay. So that's the forecast. The moon goes void for the rest of the night or maybe early morning, depending on where you live. But we really won't feel the void moon very much today. No, not panic time just yet. Remember, reclaim your power. You got this. You are evolving. You are leveling up. You've got this. And you've got a whole community of people. And also, yeah, I was just going to say, Rachel's been panicking with me. Don't forget, you can ask for help too. Like, ask people for help. I know. I get it. I don't ever want to ask people for help either. But I'm sure you have many friends like Rachel who would be down to do whatever last minute crafting projects, phone calls. I don't know. I've never planned a wedding, but I planned other things. And I know there's always a million things last minute. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Right? What a great time for a wedding. The veil will be thin. Ancestors will definitely be present to support you. I've always thought it was cool when people at weddings do like a little altar for their ancestors who aren't with them on the day of the wedding. Even if you don't do that, I feel like, yeah, your guides, your ancestors are just going to be walking down that aisle with you and fully there with all the synchronicities, all the messages, all the animal spirits. Like, I'm so excited for you. We're also excited for you, I can tell. Okay. So that's the forecast and a little bit about Diane's wedding planning, which we love. Let's come back to today's affirmation. And Diane, I think this will be helpful for you maybe right now. I am patient with myself and others. This came through because the Capricorn Moon can really teach us a lot about patience. That's one of the positive aspects of Capricorn energy. It's very patient. It's very slow. And for someone like me with the Virgo energy who likes to go, 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 do, I'm like, oh my gosh, I hate slowing down. But there is a lesson to be learned, even on a first quarter moon. A first quarter moon in Capricorn is like, take patient action, take steady action, take sustainable action that's going to make it through the long term. You can literally picture the sea goat, like one small step at a time, scaling the mountain. It's steady action. Can't be in a rush when you're climbing a mountain, right? So be patient, not only with the people around you, but with yourself as well. It's going to be so gorgeous. Along a river, near an old bridge. Trees should be changing. Pennsylvania, that's PA, right? Yeah. So as long as rain doesn't bring leaves down, it should be gorgeous. And even if it rains, A, good luck. B, have you ever seen those like umbrella wedding pictures? They're so cute. So it's going to be amazing. I'm so excited. You'll have to like send us a picture so we can show everybody after you get married and after you're enjoying it all. We all want to celebrate you. And I'll have to remember on the 29th for the forecast, we've got to wish you a happy wedding day. And you know, now that I'm saying that, sometimes slowing down is not a choice. Just got to give in and go with the flow. And it's all about the flow today. I love it. Yeah, the dogs are very active today. The door's open again. Dad's not home yet. My high priestess is doing a hand fasting, and it will have that woodland, dark, autumn, creepy vibe. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, I love this. What I was going to say is I think today is BB's birthday. I want to say she told us last week that today was her birthday. So I know she's not here with us live, but I want to say she said her birthday was Monday. And if I remember correctly, happy birthday to BB. We love her. We love her energy in the chat with us and just sending so much love to her. She's always hyping everybody else up too. Gotta love that. Okay, let's do today's tarot poll. We're going to do it from the Queen of the Moon Oracle deck since we've been talking so much about this quarter moon in Capricorn. And we'll see what message needs to come through. I also love how much we've been talking about this like dark autumnal vibe with transformation and Diane's like thinning veil wedding. This feels like that vibe. You know, she looks very witchy. Yes, happy birthday, BB. I hope I got it right. But if I didn't, just know that we'll celebrate you again if I missed it or if it's not happening yet. Either way, we're sending love to BB. All right. You know the drill, everyone. This is your time to ask questions. Let me know if you have any insights you want to share about what's been coming up for you. Any intentions you want to set. Yeah, best time of the year, All Hallows Eve at the end of the month. I watched Hocus Pocus too this weekend. Anybody else? It was, my like inner witch was so happy. It was so fun how they redid it. Really focusing on like young girls and witchiness and crystals, and like they really played into what's currently popular, which I love, but also I think really upheld the integrity of the original Hocus Pocus. And all the Halloween events are coming up, all the costumes. I'm so excited. You got to watch the second one. It's so good. I mean, nothing compares to the first one, I will admit, but they did a good job. And I love seeing Sarah Jessica Parker and Bette Midler, and forgive me, I don't remember the third actress's name, But I love seeing them come back. Of course, they had to do a musical number, but anytime we have Bette Midler in a movie, you got to have a musical number. That's just, it's a must, right? Okay. Enough about hocus pocus. Let's do a card pull. Here we go. If you are joining me live, let's go ahead and just all take a deep breath together, remembering that patience. Have patience with yourself, even in taking this breath. Here we go. Breathe in nice and slow. And release. What do we need to know? The masculine card. Very interesting that we pulled the masculine on a Capricorn moon, Capricorn being the sign associated with the masculine. We pulled this card before too. Definitely Capricorn vibes. Let's see. So the lunar god, the masculine. Card number 42. And here's what it says. It's time to step forward and lead. Be the leader in your own life. You have more power than you think. It's time to formally learn more, enroll in a course, or learn a new skill. Offer your protection to someone weaker than yourself. Take steps to improve your health and vitality. May the positive attributes of the masculine align with me. While lunar gods are rare, usually their realms are the solar. They are conspicuous when they appear. The Australian Aboriginal deity of the Wanneroo tribal area, Baime, encourages us to observe the laws of the land and to appreciate the beauty around us. Baime, hopefully I'm saying that right, is depicted with having big eyes and no mouth, teaching us that sometimes beauty does not need to be spoken about, just witnessed with the eyes of our head and our heart. The Norse god Mani, the moon himself, teaches us to be wise and about the passage of time. The Mesopotamian Sin shows us how to ask about the future and how important it is to protect the weak. There are many more. The traditional positive attributes of the masculine, like strength, physical vitality, power of will, shielding and protecting of the weak, are important for anyone to adopt, no matter their gender or orientation. Should you pull this card, it is asking you to step up into your power, your uniqueness, and offer your guidance to those who may need it. So on point with everything we've talked about with the Capricorn moon. And as I was reading this, and the moon harmonizing with Mercury tonight can really allow conversations to unfold really easily too. And that can provide some clarity, as we talked a lot about Mercury now being direct. And so don't be afraid to take the lead in those conversations, to reclaim your power by being a leader in those areas of your life. And remember, we all have masculine and feminine energies within us. And sometimes we have to play a little more into one or the other in order to really fully be in our power. Ideally, we would all just be balanced all the time, right? But that's not exactly how the world works. So I love that we pulled this for the Capricorn moon. I mean, just so, it's always on point, but makes me happy. What are you guys saying? Yes, Diane. Hopefully you can take a little hour-and-a-half break from wedding planning and just enjoy some hocus pocus energy, maybe with your fiance, sipping on some cider. I'm just painting the picture of your life. I watched it on my couch with cookies, so my hubby and I will be watching it hopefully this weekend. He was too busy to watch this past weekend. I'm just happy he wants to watch with me. Yeah, love it. I might watch it again. Let's be honest. It's good. I didn't think he wanted me to wait for him to watch it. He usually doesn't care. I was having the same thing, but my partner's out of town. So I was like, I'm not waiting. I'll watch it again with you, but I gotta watch it. I gotta see what the hype's all about. 42, the life, universe, and everything. Is that what 42 means? The masculine. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. All right, everybody. That is going to do it for this episode of Transits today. The dogs say it's done, apparently, and the dogs get what the dogs want. But I will be back tomorrow, really working on getting back into a flow, a normal routine to come on live with you all, but also giving myself some grace, still being patient with myself and others, as today's affirmation says. And Tomorrow, let's see. What do we have going on tomorrow? Do we have any major transits to talk about tomorrow? It's really focused on the moon quite a bit this week. Let me see. Let me see if I can give you a preview. I don't know. I don't think we have anything going on October 4th. So it will be all about the moon in Aquarius. We'll be diving into the aspects the Aquarius moon is making tomorrow, and things will definitely start to pick up by the end of the week as we make our way towards that full moon in Aries, the fiery sign of Aries. That inner fire is getting lit for sure. All right. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. As Rose says, remember to breathe. Nice and slow breaths. We're in no rush. Slow and steady, says the Capricorn Moon. I will see you right back here tomorrow morning. Sending so much love to you all. So grateful you continue to show up for yourselves. You continue to show up for this beautiful community we're creating together. It means the world to me. And I will see you when I see you. But until I see you next, Nick says peace out. Stay curious. Thank you so much for joining us and aligning with the energy of the universe today. If you enjoyed this morning's episode of Transits Today, you can join our live astrology discussion every weekday morning right here wherever you're watching. And head to thespiritualjournalist.com to read your daily astrology forecast and browse the Spiritual Shop. The most fun way to help keep these forecasts free and support more content like this is to buy yourself a little something on our website. But if you're feeling extra generous, you can also buy me a coffee to fuel future live streams. Just tap the link in the description or head to buymeacoffee.com and search The Spiritual Journalist. And speaking of, you can also tune in to The Spiritual Journalist, our weekly live interview where we ask our guests questions about everything from crystals and manifestation to mental health and the environment. Those conversations stream live right here wherever you're watching now every Tuesday. I'm so grateful you found us here, and I can't wait for our next conversation.